What's up, everybody, and welcome to Final Podcast. We're back with Final Podcast. I am the Warrior of Hype, and guess who else is back? It's the Firaga Fighter. What's up, Vinny?
How's it going?
Oh, man, doing great because we have a very, very special guest with us today. You can see the incredible, just breathtaking art. I actually have that art piece right there. That painting is right there. Yeah, man, I love your art. It's Tylor Hepner. How you doing, Tylor?
Hey, guys. It's good to be here. It's an honor to be on the stream, by the way.
Oh, man, it's an honor to have you here. I know we talked about this yesterday. We had like a little pre-show. I want to make sure everybody's audio is working before we get started. We sound good, everybody? Let me know in chat. But yeah, so we had a little pre-chat yesterday, and we talked. Yeah. We had a great podcast yesterday that wasn't recorded.
It was a great 2 hours last
night. I was like, yeah, it's gonna take about 5 minutes. All you gotta do is learn how to share your screen. 5 minutes, not 2 hours later, because you're such a passionate Final Fantasy fan, and you're just like us talking about this stuff. You love keeping up with the news and everything. But before we get into, because we gotta talk Final Fantasy. But before we get into talking about the future of Final Fantasy with Rebirth and all that other stuff, I want to talk about how you have a brand new art that you're going to be debuting live right here on the show, which is really exciting.
Yes.
Do you want to give a little tease? What is this art piece going to be? Yeah. What's it going to be about? What is this?
So this new art is mostly focused on the legacy. It's legacy. So Cloud. The main focus in marketing, the visuals we've been seeing for Rebirth and Ever Crisis. And also, I got to give a shout out to Sleep Easy for kind of inspiring it as well with his new video.
Yeah.
It really inspired me to do a Cloud and Zack piece. So I think it's my best Zack painting I've done, capturing his likeness. And that's what I did for today.
Man, I'm really excited to show this off to everybody. I got a peek at it last night. It's just so freaking good. But for now, let's talk about you as an artist. I want to know, man, how did you get into art? What is because I love hearing stories like this of what was the moment where you were just like, yeah, I love this. This is me. I want to be an artist.
Yeah. So for me, I'd say I was born into it. My whole life. My parents are artists, and very artistic, and so from very young, I was pushed to just focus on art as I showed the talent for it, and they really helped me, and they're my biggest inspirations. Yeah. My dad's more of an architectural goal side. His dream was to be an architect, and my mom is jack of all trades when it comes to crafts, painting, thing with the arts. She is really my biggest inspiration. So, very young. And then when I got really serious right in high school. I saw Drew Struzan's Hellboy poster video, how he created the Hellboy poster. Yeah. That video in particular, I'll credit with really pushing me to pursue my style, and it got me into starting pastels, and realism was the moment that I started doing that.
Yeah.
It was a breakthrough moment too, because I was having a hard time starting in my artwork. Stuck on one drawing, 10th grade, for 6 months. And my art teacher really was like, are you going to get this done or not? It's really good. Something needs to happen. Something needs to change. And I had a breakthrough moment where I decided I'm going to make this happen.
Yeah.
And that Drew Struzan video helped. And then really helped me. And I had a good focus.
So, for those who may not know, who is Drew Struzan? Like,
Drew Struzan. Yeah. I'm sure every single person in here has seen him. He has drawn. He is the legendary movie poster artist for Star Wars and Indiana Jones, the Future poster.
Mm-hmm. Incredible stuff.
All the iconic old 80s and 90s posters. He did it. The thing he did in one night. Those posters, man.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of influenced my interest in my artistic layout of how I do all my art.
Yeah, I mean, and you can see that inspiration too. That's awesome. I thought that was a really cool detail that you shared with me in the pre-show stuff. So yeah, really cool. And now, say the style that you got, man. So I can see these vertical lines. You've established this style. I think it's one of the hardest things to do as an artist, right? Is to establish a style that is like, oh, that's Tylor Hepner. Almost immediately, as soon as you see the art piece, you're like, yeah, that's Tylor Hepner. I got it. And you did it. Like, it's so clearly distinguishable as you. Every time you post art, you got these vertical lines that kind of like jut out or up and down, and then you kind of like accent it with this swirl. Can you go into a little bit of detail of how that came to be? Like, how did you find this style? And what does it represent and stuff?
So all these wisps and all the lines and stuff like that, it's all visual interest, I like to add. It started with my pastel art. Instead of just drawing what I see, I want to exaggerate color, to add drama, add extra lighting, draw more than realism, and draw things extremely exaggerated to a point where it looks more than realistic, instead of just drawing what I see. I like extreme color, extreme contrast, and that's just my style. I like having this extreme light source and everything. And you can probably see with all my rim lights and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But with my pastel art, my signature, if all my Instagram followers know, I use white charcoal on all my pastel pieces. And that white charcoal is the key, is the secret ingredient to all my pastel art. People are like, how do you get it so crisp?
Yeah.
And it's definitely the white charcoal. So
that's cool.
Always end my pastel drawings with this accent of details, of speckles, and I started creating all the detail with this white. And I think it started from there. And then that translated as I was starting to learn digital art. Kind of was just natural. And with Final Fantasy, I like the live stream aesthetic, the swirls, the wisps.
Yeah.
So just that natural motion carried over, and that idea of accenting all my art with charcoal accented the digital paintings, these vertical lines, and it kind of adds to the idea of first the live stream. I like adding that because it feels Final Fantasy in all the paintings.
Yeah.
When every character activates some sort of magic or limit break, you see some sort of energy emanating up.
Yeah.
I wanted that frenetic energy to be a part of art for interest, and it's just a natural motion for me when I draw. Somehow it became a thing, and I just do it on all of them now.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely your style, man. It looks fantastic. Yeah, so we talked about it, and I didn't have it on my questions list, and then I got to bring it back because I thought it was so interesting. Actually, I asked you, well, like, I'm just curious myself, so maybe there's viewers out there that might be curious as well, but how long, what is the difference between because you say you're just now getting into digital painting and you're more the pastel traditional art, so like when it comes to a traditional art piece or art painting with pastel, how does that compare to digital, like the transition over into digital, and how long does it take you to do each?
So it was kind of difficult at first because pastels I've mastered, really. the process. It was getting like clockwork. Like I knew exactly what to do. It starts off with my sketch, and I've mastered the idea of drawing what I see. Realism is the focus when it comes to my traditional pastel art. And I have a very specific technique with my pastels, where I kind of like tap the paper. I'm like sculpting the page, and at that point it's just like, dude, I'm grinding out the hard work. So it takes me like 3 days to do a drawing in pastel and high realism. And I'll show y'all later some examples. I'm sure some of you have seen them all. But some of my best pastel arts I get done in a couple days. With digital art, it's infinite possibilities, and I have a problem with decision fatigue.
Yeah.
So I'm always fatigued all the time with decision fatigue. Should his hair be this red hue or a blue hue?
Yeah. Why not try it out?
Everywhere.
Because you can, you know?
Yeah.
Just try it out, and then I can just undo it if I don't like it. You know,
and then I try it out. I always try it out, and then I may end up having hundreds of layers because I have all this peak setting in with decisions, and I'm like, maybe I'll go back to that. Anyways, it takes me a long time to do digital art. And I wanted to translate realism into digital art. I do have a style that is outside of realism. Relates to my sketches. I always say sketches. Say that's more my style. These rendered high realism paintings represent I want to capture the character as realistic as possible, like when you see their CG models. And that was really hard with FF10 series I did, because you don't see that there's only a few CG scenes. I wanted to capture those moments. I want to capture brand new feeling. It's like CG renders, kind of like as if Square released them themselves. Because that feels like the most authentic way to share them. Yeah,
I mean, it's like
and then
I would just like going to comment on like that, like looking at Sid right now. It really, because you have this real hyper realistic Sid sitting up there, and I'm like, I kind of got, it feels like a tease of what he's gonna look like in Rebirth. Like you get a look at him.
He was real difficult. His jacket, I can't wait to see his jacket in Rebirth, man. Just the flowing physics of everything. His cigarette box and all that kind of stuff. I'm excited.
Me too.
But it's really hard to capture it when there's not material for it. Sid's only had Advent children, basically.
And that was almost a different look, compared to
same with Kate Sith. Kate Sith. I'd say Kate Sith, but
me too. But I mean,
that's what I say.
Kate Sith.
It's been a running gag where like I'll do a video. I'm like, Kate Sith, catch it. Just catch it.
Like a sneeze.
You'll
like Rapukin.
Excuse me. It just comes out of me. I just catch it.
So Kate Sith was really hard because there's barely any visual. It's in regards to a realistic CG look. So that was a push. I like doing these because it helps me creatively push myself. And the main reason I started doing digital, I just want to say, pastels I was mastering. Focus on a reference, and I would try to make that reference better. And I would combine and manipulate, and portraiture. It's capturing a person and the spirit of that person in their eyes, and getting everything exactly correct. I have this desire to be better, create my own concepts, and create my own ideas, and not rely on reference so much. So this whole series, Final Fantasy, that's what started it. I wanted to push myself and be creative and create my own concepts, my own colors, my own renders from myself, and that's been the goal.
Yeah, that I think all great artists do exactly what you just said. You know, you gotta you find you get yourself in a comfort zone, and then it's like, well, you know what, time to tackle something, a new challenge. And
Yeah.
my God, did you tackle this challenge? You buried the challenge, you destroyed the challenge, you freaking linebacker pile drive the challenge.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man, you know, it's fantastic work. You've almost I think you've mastered it. I think you've mastered digital art. So what are you gonna do now? No, I'm just I'm just kidding. There's always something else to do. But like, I love. Speaking of how you said you wanted to do something original, capture the emotions, to capture the personalities of the characters and all that other stuff. You have such interesting and just really cool ways that you pose the characters. Like your recent Clive, I guess it's not so recent. It was like around the time that the game came out, but you had this Clive image where he's like kind of like he's got his arm out and it's just almost like a little curled body shape. But yeah, it's just you have that one. You have such great ways to pose these characters. So would you care if you're game for this? If you're down to do this, would you go through some of your previous art? I would love this. This would be so cool. Go through some of your previous art and maybe do like a behind the scenes commentary on some of those art pieces, and kind of like maybe even talk about, okay, here's the concept that I had in my mind. Here's how it, you know, from concept to final and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Oh,
so
man,
like,
awesome.
I'll say when it comes to my poses, I'll preface with I have this thing. All artists have this thing where they do in every single drawing. So I don't know if y'all noticed. You noticed the lines. I have the lines with the wisps. But I do this thing where I always have to have. They're always brooding, like a Batman brood. They're always serious, and I always do these lines under the eyes right here. Single character has a line under the eye. I didn't notice I was doing that. I put this line under every single artwork.
Okay.
And then I have a thing with doing this. This is all my characters are holding their hand up like this. Like Sephiroth does this, Jack does it. Everyone has their hand up.
Sid.
So that's like
I see Sid now.
They all do this.
Yeah.
So I have this visual imagery that's thing is kind of similar in that kind of way. I have a preference in how I draw.
Yeah.
Comfortable way. So let's see. I have this pulled up. So I want to go through. Is there any in particular you'd like me to go through?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm really fascinated by a bunch of them. So like the icons was one of them. You had like this really sweet looking Clive. You know, it's back camera to it, or not camera, perspective to his back. There he is, and then with the icons lined up like that. I thought this was just excellent. Just composition. Like this is just. I was like, this is so freaking cool. So if maybe start with that.
I wanted to do something before release day. That was kind of because I know this whole series is going to take me forever.
Yeah.
The entire series usually takes me a while because I'm gonna have the characters to draw, and the icons, and I have the semi-prime versions of them all. So I was kind of nervous I wasn't getting all that done. So I wanted to incorporate all the icons into a piece stay. So that was the first. Yeah. And what I did was match the concept of the mural that you see in the game. So this grand, kind of like Attack on Titan feeling with the art. So that was the starting point. When it comes to my posing, I just I gather as many references as I can from that point with my practice. I also got a degree in animation, so
Oh yeah.
posing and doing animated scenes helps me with that posing. I think it's just a natural drawing so much from life and all that kind of stuff with dynamic poses, and I'm so interested in animation. That really adds to how I make these poses, I guess.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. To like the
So the so the idea, like with Shiva, um, I used a earthy color palette,
yeah.
all just to make it easier for myself, and also match the mural design. It's this epic ancient moment, and I notice I also include Phoenix or Ifrit. I like put them into Clive. I said like Clive is Ifrit and Phoenix combined for this because he's not going to fight Ifrit and Phoenix.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I know Shiva's there, but she had to be there.
Yeah.
And Odin.
So they're almost like, but you have them almost separated from them too. So you get
Yeah.
that, yeah. This is
And so for these two, I wanted it to be like a duel.
Mm-hmm.
No idea what was going to happen between them, but it seemed like you could get the vibe that they were like dueling like old knights. So their swords are out, and that inspired that pose. I knew Torgal had to be next to him.
I love the
It's basically like
almost like a portal, like you got the this like circle kind of thing where it's almost like they're emerging from like almost like a portal type thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you have this like it's a beautiful, like you were talking about, to recapture that mural aesthetic, and I think he did. That definitely captures the mural aesthetic there. Yeah, I mean, it's so you've also done like a kind of a series where you take like Final Fantasy couples. So you have Clive and Jill.
Yeah.
You have Squall and Rinoa. You've got Titus and Yuna. I thought that one was just beautiful. All of them are beautiful.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, but like even like you were talking about with Titus and Yuna, or you were talking about like how you have them brooding. I think it's really really cool with that one in particular, where you even have you capture Titus's personality, even though he's kind of almost got like a little smirk. He's kind of he's kind of got the brooding thing, but it's still Titus through and through. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Is there any art piece in particular for you that you would like to say, oh, I gotta showcase this one, I gotta talk about it?
I have to talk about, I would say,
oh, I love that one. Yeah. Oh, there it is. So good.
This one is
That's my favorite
meaningful
one
to me.
Vinny said that's my favorite. I knew you would.
That's my favorite one.
FF10. So FF10 was my first Final Fantasy. It's my favorite forever. Followed very close by FF7. FF10, I have a lot of nostalgia with my family for. And its aesthetic, the Islander aesthetic, is my favorite thing in the world. This Chrono Cross, I have to shout out Chrono Cross, one of my favorite games ever. That was my Final Fantasy VII back then, back in the day. Everyone else's Final Fantasy VII feeling, it was Chrono Cross for me. And the sun, beach, blue sky aesthetic attached itself to me. The morning sunlight rays, that feeling of sun coming through your window in the beach, kind of goes through all my art. So this captures my favorite feeling, especially with the Titus piece by himself. My Titus painting of him by himself is like my favorite drawing I've done. So this encapsulates that feeling for me. And I spent a whole year getting this right. Out with the intention of drawing all these separately and then combining them eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I want them as authentic as possible. Personally, I think I nailed Titus. Titus needs his dark skin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. yeah.
He hasn't been portrayed with dark skin.
He's been out of the sunlight for quite some time recently.
Yeah.
But yes, I think you absolutely nailed not only just Titus, but like even in chat right now, Block Sheep says this just feels Final Fantasy X. Like it feels like you were talking about the sunlight coming through the, so it just feels Final Fantasy X. And then Amy Roser says that loves the hints of purple in there as well.
Yeah, I do hints of purple in like every drawing. It's kind of happening.
Yeah, it's kind of happening.
Pastel art, my pastel art, I always included this reddish purple. And it's kind of just translated naturally into digital art. Yeah. And it happens in every single piece. I just naturally do it.
I love this because I'm kind of like, now that we get to talk, I get to kind of like we're getting inside your brain here, and now I'm just like, now I'm going to be, when you're doing your art, now I'm going to be like, there's the line under the eye, there's those subtle hints of purple.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm like,
yeah. Yeah, you can see under Yuna's eyes, and Waka has all these extra lines in his face.
That's so cool, man. Yeah.
This thing I wanted to point out.
Mm-hmm.
To make a piece more, I like adding extra texture, extra lines, extra fluidity beyond just a cheek.
Yeah.
Or hair coming, or a sideburn. They have multiple layers of movement. Like with Kamari here, I have to say, I know he's not the favorite.
I love Kamari.
He's the middle ground in FF10. He could be anything, so no one really committed to him.
Mm-hmm.
I committed to him.
I committed to him too, Tyler.
I did. You did?
Yeah, Kamari was in my party, man. I love Kamari.
He never left. Kamari never left.
Yeah.
So I have to share the love for Kamari because his design, personally, really made an impact. I love everything about him. I love ponytails. I love his white hair hanging down. I love everything about him.
Yeah, I mean,
he was really important for me to get right.
Yeah.
But hair, all this texture and detail, I over exaggerate. So I think that adds to my style and the Final Fantasy magical, sparkly, like they're glistening crystal kind of feeling. I want all of them to glisten like they just emerged from a crystalline, like a butterfly.
Yeah.
Merge, but it emerged out of this crystal, and they are covered in like sparkles and crystals. Which is the magic of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that's a really awesome way to put it. Like, and that's, I guess, how you capture the feel of Final Fantasy in every painting, because that is such a cool way to look at it now. I love that. I love that. What you just said there, that's really cool. And with those vertical lines, it looks like sparkles, right? It's like you say, glistening, and it's kind of those almost shining, like sparkling. Oh, cool, man. Love that.
Yeah,
love that, Tyler. Oh,
I'm not a hot take kind of Final Fantasy fan.
Okay.
I want to be genuine fan as possible, that what every fan loves about each Final Fantasy, I want to capture that genuine love for each character and moment. People have their preferences.
Yeah.
But I want to really pull that out of people, of what they love about each Final Fantasy and whoever loves each one.
Yeah.
That's really important to me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw that you.
So like, so everyone asking about, I know everyone's asking for other Final Fantasies. 100%. I say this all the time. I'm going to get to all of them if I can. I want to.
Yeah.
There's going to be a Dissidia one where all the main cast is going to be in one painting.
Now
Stuff like that. I wonder.
Talk about an undertaking. That would be pretty crazy.
Yeah,
that would be pretty sick. I'd like to see.
So
that
no
one.
worries. I'm going to get to 1, FF4, FF8.
Nice.
15. FF15's next, probably after Rebirth, but
yeah, it's like now that you kind of like with the hype going on with 7, you know, you gotta stick with it. I mean, and the beauty of it is that we both really love 7, so but like
yes.
like it's like I say that because I'm in the same situation. For like, man, I'd love to talk about other Final Fantasies, but you know what? We're sticking to 7 all the way through, baby. But yeah, it's like you know, you gotta stay on that train, because there ain't no getting off that train. You know what I mean? With that hype train, it's going to plow right through Coral, and you know you're going to be on it. I'm really excited about seeing you know, future paintings regarding Final Fantasy 7. And speaking of your growing collection of Final Fantasy paintings, Final Fantasy 7 in particular, you have a brand new painting to debut right here on Final Fan TV. And before you do, Tylor, I gotta say, I'm really honored. Like, this is a really special thing for me in particular. Like, for me personally, I've been following your art for a very, very long time. I'm a big fan. And then when we had our little, you know, like we were trying to test thing. We had a little test last night to make sure that you know could share screens and stuff. But we got to talking, and it's just kind of, it's still hard for me to wrap my head around, because you're a fan of us, which is cool. Like you follow our content.
I've been here from the beginning,
man. It means a lot. It really does.
No joke.
And I'm like, I told my wife after we talked, I'm like, yeah, I'm talking to him as if I was talking to, like, you know, like you don't really have a foundation of Final Fantasy, so I have to kind of lay the foundation of the conversation and then bring it in. But I can see as I'm talking, Tyler's just like, yeah, dude, I got this. I know exactly what you're saying. Like, I've been keeping up with all the news.
I know everything you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm all into it.
Yes.
I would be another content creator if I could.
Oh man,
I know so much.
And from our conversation last night, I think you could absolutely do it. But like I said, you know, the door is always open if you ever feel like you have something you want to say here about Final Fantasy. Just
thank you, man.
Just say, hey, I want to be on there, and you're on, because that was a lot of fun.
I got a shout out, because my process began with this Final Fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
With all the content creators, it started with Max. Max really he helped my love for Final Fantasy just grow more than it ever did. From there, after Max, I started delving deeper, and so like next was Cosmo Canyon Observatory, Mizuazath. He goes so deep, and I was really into him. Final Fantasy Peasant. Pez is nutty. Curious. I just want to shout out all these people who have made an impact.
Yes.
Pez, you're awesome, man. You're so hilarious.
Shout out to Pez.
Keep being goofy.
Yeah.
And then Baby Seal.
Baby Seal's here, I think.
Bless you, Baby Seal, and sleep easy.
Nice.
You brought my concept, understanding of the theories that Max put out there for everybody. There's a basic, lay it out, level 1, 2, 3, and 4. And Sleep Easy and Baby Seal took it to level 10. And so that has helped my love grow for Final Fantasy. It's helped my art be more passionate about creating these. And my understanding of it helps with capturing the spirit of all of these paintings. So thank you to everybody for making all that you make, because it does help inspire, it helps the community grow, and it helps the passion flourish. It keeps the spring going, wellspring clean and pure, and it adds to everybody. So contributed to my art. So thank you.
Man, I love that, dude. Thank you for making all of those shout outs. That's awesome, because it's I just love that. Thank you for doing that. Yep. Shout out to everybody.
Yep.
So we got you want to do the big reveal here, man?
Yes.
Oh, yes. So excited.
All right, so here is my new painting of Zach and Cloud, the brooding duo painting.
There it is.
And here it is.
So good. The full in its full glory. Man, this is fantastic. This is what you said. You were like, I think this is my favorite Zach, or my best Zach that I've done. And
yes.
I agree. This is just fantastic. You've captured like the legacy, like you were saying.
Yes.
Gosh, so walk us through this one. Tell us all about. Yeah, we're getting some good reactions in chat. That's awesome. So walk us through this one.
Yeah. Okay. This one, the inspiration began. Zach is my favorite. Zach and Cloud's the legacy that Cloud inherits from Zach. Mm-hmm. His identity crisis related to Zach. And then Sleep Easy's video pointing out some things that blew my mind and made me love their connection even more.
Yeah.
And it all is based off legacy and kind of like the imagery of Rebirth prices moving forward, because Square is really into showcasing these two right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I wanted to add to that. Mm-hmm. I wanted to add to that. So I really focused on realism here. Mm-hmm. It took me a long time, like for his face, Zach's face right here, I think is perfect. Mm-hmm. The angular look of Zach is so sick to me. I even added kind of a hint of a scar. It's not his scar, but kind of extra lines like on his jawline, on his cheek. You can see the line under his cheek, under his eye right there that I do. Yep. I want to, because the models they have sometimes are a little pudgy angles. Mm-hmm. I like to more angular and cool. That's my goal with all of this. And with Cloud, he's so hard to get a color palette right. Because he's kind of pale, and I like making Zach kind of more dark skinned. Like he's more, I don't know, to me it feels like he's more in the outside and sun and stuff like that, and that's my visual imagery.
Yeah, he's out in the clear skies.
I like making him dark. Yeah, he feels like hardworking, muscular, darker, with the darker hair. It looks really nice to me.
Yeah.
So I have layers. I'm gonna go through them.
Okay.
And I have a focus when it comes to my style. Here we go.
Oh, this is so cool that you're showing us this.
Yeah.
Love this.
So like if anyone is ever curious about my workflow, getting into digital art, Blaze is my biggest tour in a way teacher. Blaze is an old Disney animator. I'm sure artists know about him. He's the director of Brother Bear. He does he teaches digital art, and my process kind of derives from how he taught. And it starts out with a rough sketch, and this is how my sketches go usually. Just trying to keep it loose, and getting basic forms and shapes.
Yeah.
And I use this chalk brush because it helps emulate the pencil for me personally. And then it goes from here to this awkward line art phase.
Nice.
It gets more refined. It's awkward. This is the hardest part for me because it has to look this way. I need to start adding the local color and the base colors, which is this.
Yeah.
And it's very plain and very simple. You can see the color palette starting to take shape. And this happens pretty quickly. And you can see with the background, all my backgrounds are just, I'm painting in color. Atmosphere, I have all these cloud brushes. It's just an overall color palette I'm trying to capture and mood and vibe for it. And then I Gaussian blur it. I blur it, and then it just gives me the overall vibe. It's very loose and awkward, okay? And then I start adding shadows. And this is the main part.
That's quite the jump.
It's still awkward. But the line work is still involved.
Yeah.
And it helps me get that render up. So you can see Zach's face. You get that angular rendered look.
When you're doing, I'm sorry, like for this phase here, for this stage here, when you're doing this, now, are you starting with the shadows, or are you going in with highlights first, or do you just kind of mix match?
I always start with shadows. I always do shadows with a multiply layer with the local color of whatever the atmosphere is. So it's blue, the skin color multiply. For anyone who's interested in the colors are involved here.
Yeah.
It's orange and the blue. So
yes, very interesting. That's awesome. Yeah.
It does a lot. And I spend a lot of time just use a soft brush, all soft, because I have a tendency to go really highly detailed at the end, and this softness adds to the rendered look that I go for. And it really adds a lot.
Yes, it does.
And then it's this part, as I take away the line work.
Wow.
And add more to those highlights and make the render of the line work, it starts taking shape here. Favorite part.
You can see you got it's all coming together, right?
Yeah. Cloud specifically, because his eyes are, the sketches, purple line work, all that kind of stuff, but it comes together.
Yeah. God, Cloud.
And
Cloud
with hair,
looks fantastic right there. Like at this stage, like that looks great.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm looking at this, and sometimes I surprise myself.
Yeah. That
this is happening, but it's getting easier as I do every single new painting. And when it comes to hair, one line at a time, every strand at a time.
Yeah, that kind of like
you have to draw one hair
to your hyper realism, right? Like,
yeah, it's every strand at a time. And when it comes to lighting, this overall sky aesthetic, I kind of stick to the same thing. I change it up sometimes, but harder piece. Notice it's blue sky and lights coming in from big angles. It makes it easier for me to capture that realism. Because it's comfortable for me. This blue aesthetic is really comfortable, like with FF10. Otherwise, it gets really difficult. But I know what colors to use and skin palettes and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And another tip for anyone doing digital painting, I add a noise layer of all my paintings. And so when you look up close, I hope you can see it well.
Yes.
There's this noise effect the entire painting, and it really makes it come together and not look so Microsoft Paint.
Right. It almost looks as if it's on a canvas at that, when you.
It adds it adds this nice texture. That's the game changer.
Yeah.
For me. When I had this noise filter, when you don't have it, it feels like you're painting on a cheap Microsoft program. It's very strange to me, but that change helps me adapt and manipulate these colors because of that noise layer. So noise layers are very important.
Awesome.
This is how it shifts into the ending. The final effects, this is my favorite. This is when all the effects go in.
Oh, man.
I just go ham with making it. All the clarity is good, and
boom.
You get all these textures.
Mm.
Let's see. Let me get a good shot here.
Wow.
Hair is forward too. It's just a direction.
Nice.
You're just doing lines in a direction.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That just those effects that you put on at the end just really just set this thing off. How long do you spend on the effects part?
This part is like I spend like 2 days on this.
Yeah.
At least. Just because it's all decision making.
Mm-hmm.
I get decision fatigue all the time. So this is my big decision fatigue section where do I put a line on his ear like this or like this?
Mm-hmm.
Do I do this or this? So this is this whole process. And with like Cloud's hair, I'm just more hair, more lines.
Yeah.
Because that's what I like. I really like having this over the top texture,
where you get
extra crispy.
Yeah. You get to see every strand. Like you can see like maybe there's a strand out of place or there's something.
Yeah. And I like doing, if you look on his like pauldron,
Mm-hmm.
a lot. I like a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's a lot going on here, and there's like probably 100 layers going on with his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even kidding. It's a multiply of shadow, not a color dodge. I'm using brush textures and just exaggerating everything about it.
You can almost see like
all on top of the softness.
Is that a lens flare I see in there as well? Like is that I see the circles?
Yeah, that's a manual lens flare.
Yeah. Oh,
with color dodging.
That's so cool.
So and you can see I put hints of red in there.
Yep. See the hints of red in that purple kind of coming in there.
Yeah. So like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
In Cloud's face, in a second, you can see his extra lines on his jaw, on his nose.
Mm-hmm.
Like adding these extra crispy. I like crispy.
Mm-hmm. It's
so that's
you can tell that like every just stroke of the brush you have like an intent to it,
Yeah, it's all it's a wisp. It's a one line stroke.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like wisping everything.
Yeah, and
direction. It's all directional.
Yeah, and sometimes you post little previews of that, like on your on X or Twitter or whatever. But
yeah. All the there's always a point of start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
His hair on his forehead and going all the way back to the back of his head, constant. And then I wisp it, and then I different motions in between that to make it flow. And then you could see the live stream. I like doing this swirl around in my duo paintings. I like a figure 8 happening throughout the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
That happens in all of my paintings when it comes to the duo. This has happened to be for... It's a similar thing I like to do for these. Intertwined in some way. They're connected in some way.
Yeah. I mean,
and
that's the live stream, you know. It connects and stuff. You know, you get it's infinite. It's infinite.
Yeah. It's infinite. Yeah. It has an infinity in there. Yeah.
And when they collide, that's where Remake right there at the center. That's where Remake takes place. When the timelines just merge. I don't know.
Yeah. The Baby Seal will explain the timelines for everybody.
Yeah. Really explain the infinite theory. Seal's next Sleep Easy's next video, the infinite, infinity live stream.
Like, I wanted to point out some things about these two. I think so. Zach, his legacy created Final Fantasy. Like Sleep Easy pointed this out at the end of his video. Like his life, his sacrifice created basically the story of Final Fantasy VII. And this is what Sleep Easy was pointing out. So now, there's the legacy of Angeal to Zack to Cloud with the Buster Sword, which is like the light. And then there's the legacy of Sephiroth and Genova as the opposite, the negative part of that. So now that Zack is alive, in some way, it's proof that his legacy might be detached from Cloud. So it's like his life is required, Zack's life is required to continue the legacy that Cloud would have continued. And now Cloud is like inheriting Sephiroth's legacy in a way. Like he's like the vessel of rebirth for Sephiroth. You know, Sephiroth needs Cloud. Cloud is his Horcrux to be even existing with memory and all that kind of stuff. That concept is really interesting.
Yeah.
And everyone wants to see evil Cloud at the end, or not wants to see it, but people point out the idea that something terrible is gonna happen with Cloud and his mental state, to the point where he's rendered he loses complete control. He does in the OG.
Yeah, I was gonna say this
when he
does happen in the OG a lot. Yeah,
it does happen. I think it's going to be something they're going to really push that to an extreme.
I'd love to
that
see
concept of Zack. The concept of Zack being alive is almost proof that he's required to continue the legacy, that because Cloud can't continue it.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen, but Cloud will eventually continue it, but that's the dark part. That's before the Cloud comes back up and takes over and comes. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, like you said, everybody. I mean, I'm sure everybody here has seen it, but like, you go see Sleep Easy's latest video. It's a Vessel of Rebirth. Really cool stuff there. Like you said, I mean, I could tell that this was a big inspiration for your painting here. And then as we go into Ever Crisis, which comes out this week,
yes.
So I can see those two things being really big inspirations here, and you capturing that. Like you say, I know you draw them brooding, but like you're capturing like Zack. There's almost a foreboding sense going on here. Are you? I think you're frozen. Or either that, or you're just really pleased with your work.
Oh
man, okay, there he goes.
There we go.
Back.
He's back.
Am I
He's
here?
back. Yeah, you're back. You're back. You're back. Yeah, you were just like.
Okay. Phew. Okay.
Yeah. There's a foreboding sense going on right here, and I think you captured that so well in this picture, in this painting.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, and like Cloud, almost you can see the conflict, the inner conflict right there in his eyes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good, dude. I hope that maybe other people got different interpretations of it, and maybe it wasn't even, like my interpretation of it, but like it definitely.
Yeah, I love the OG thematic story of Zack and Cloud, and I like Zack's sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal.
I feel like you can't just say that without Creed coming in, Scott Stapp just coming in there,
Yeah.
That's my next music video. I'm replacing the Y song at the end of that to "My Sacrifice" by Creed.
Yes.
Oh man. But yeah. So that's this is fantastic. Thank you so much for debuting the painting here. And also I'd like to announce to everybody watching, but anybody who may have just couldn't watch tonight because I know we started really late. If you're watching this on on YouTube, and you're catching the VOD, Tylor is going to be giving this away, giving a print away. And Tylor, would you like to talk a little bit about that? Like this is your giveaway here. What can they expect? What size print and everything?
So the idea is I want to give away one of these posters, sell prints of these. So I have multiple sizes, but I want to give away a big 16 by 20.
Wow.
To people who could participate in the giveaway.
Yeah, and I can explain a little bit about that one, because usually we would do like a little Streamlabs, pick a random viewer, and I really do appreciate everybody tuning in right now, but I want to get, we started late, so I want to give everyone a chance to do this. And one of the main reasons why I reached out to creators within the Final Fantasy community is to spotlight them, is to give a platform, maybe some Final fans, people who tune into FFTV, maybe they don't know about Tylor Hepner, you know what I mean? I'm sure they've seen the work, but maybe they didn't know. So that is my goal. So what I want to do is I want to kind of find a way in order to increase that community aspect here. So what I would like for you guys to do is to go to @TylorHepnerArt. On X or the social media account formerly known as Twitter, is @Tylor. That's with an O, not an E. And you can see it right here at the top of the top left of this podcast. It says Final Podcast with @TylorHepnerArt. Just follow that handle. Go over to the Twitter account. Follow. Make sure you click follow. And then I will have, right after the show on @FinalFanTV, I'll have a post that you will have to retweet. And that way, everybody who retweets that post, I will keep track of by just simply clicking who's reposted it. And then that way, you're spreading the word about Tylor Hepner art and also entering in a giveaway. So hopefully that is kind of a cool method right there. Like, trying something a little new. Hopefully it gives you guys a chance to go over to Tylor Hepner art, @Tylor Hepner art on Twitter, and you get to take a look at some of the previous work. You get to take a look at upcoming work. You get little teases every now and then, which is really cool. And like you heard, you got Rebirth coming up, so much art coming in. It looks like you got a Final Fantasy 16 one in the works. So there's a lot on the plate and a lot coming up that you don't want to miss. So and you get a little behind the scenes stuff and all that cool stuff. So go there, follow, and then make sure you go over to @FinalFanTV and retweet or repost or whatever the giveaway. Like, there will be a specific post that says giveaway, and I'll probably pin it so that way you know where it's at. But yeah, so Tyler, you gave a little bit of a tease
I
there.
saw that.
A little
Ignore
bit of a little tease.
Ignore that.
Got a little tease
Don't worry
there.
about that.
Bringing back memories of Wheel of Final Fantasy, where I gave away all of the answers, and I was like, oh.
I was just thinking that reaction.
Amy
Don't worry about that.
Roser says we saw nothing. We saw nothing.
Okay.
Well, the link didn't work, but that's. Oh wait. What's up, Vinny? The link didn't work.
I posted his Twitter handle, and I thought I linked it, but you can't click on it. So at least it's the spelling is there.
Okay, cool.
Need
you can copy paste that, and of course the link will be in the description if you're watching on YouTube. So yeah, there you go, man. That's really exciting. What size post? What size poster?
Instead of making it complicated and saying a choice, I am saying everyone is going to be a 16 by 20 poster print.
That's amazing. That's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
And they're great quality prints too. I mean, I got one over there.
Yeah.
So, great quality.
Also, after the stream, I'm going to have it available on Etsy.
Nice.
You just want to get one yourself.
That's another link that we'll put in the description as well. Yeah, for sure.
I have them all for sale on Etsy, and I'm really proud of them all. So.
Yes, Etsy that's where I got mine. So that is definitely a great place to go get it. So is that Etsy at Tylor Hepner as well?
Yes.
Or Etsy.com/Tylor Hepner. Not Tylor Hepner art, just Tylor Hepner. Okay.
Yes.
So there you go, man. Everybody tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that behind the scenes look at the art. That was a surprise to me, Tyler. We didn't talk about that in post or in the test run. So when you started breaking it down, showing the layers, and oh man, that was really exciting for me. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
I really love seeing that. So thank you. What I'd like to do is kind of pivot over into talking about Final Fantasy, man. You're obviously a very passionate Final Fantasy fan. You said Final Fantasy X is your favorite. Can we talk about a little bit about that Final Fantasy origin story for you and why Final Fantasy means so much to you?
Yes. Okay, so started off with when I was younger, my parents were into gaming a lot. I would watch them play games growing up, and Zelda was the biggest one for me. My mom would play Ocarina of Time, would read it, and I kind of learned to read really well because of that. Reading the text and all that kind of stuff. It was so much fun. And then Final Fantasy X, we played. My PS1 era was Chrono Cross. I didn't hit the wave of FF7 at the time because it was all what my parents played. So FF10 and Chrono Cross. When FF10 hit, like I said, that aesthetic defined everything from that point. Everyone's first Final Fantasy really makes an impact on them.
It does.
And because it matched Chrono Cross, boom, double. It hit me double. So I really like that Islander aesthetic. And the story, I had no idea the plot twists when I was younger. All I knew was Kamari was really cool.
Yeah.
Arn was the coolest guy ever.
Yes, he was. Come on. He's got an arm
his
in his
entrance.
sleeve. Wow, it's so cool. He uses one arm.
So sick. Man, dude.
He's awesome. When Sin is rising up, he just kind of raises. Oh man, come on.
Raises a toast.
Yeah.
Sin. Oh my gosh.
I just like how Auron, in the game, he just seems like this mystic grandpa, late 50s, early 60s, and he's just so wise, and I think the game booklet says he's 32, and I'm I'm not even 32 yet, I'm just, right there, and I don't feel I'm that wise or mystic. He just seems so traveled.
Yeah.
Nomura drew him as middle-aged, and they just
middle-aged. Yeah.
ended up being 32.
He's even got like the white in his hair. Come on. I mean, I kind of got that going
white.
on too. Yeah, I get that. It works.
I don't see nothing.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a 1080p camera, or maybe 720. I don't know. But real quick, everybody watching right now, this is your chance to, if you have a question for Tylor. Right now, we're just kind of talking Final Fantasy, but if you have a question about Final Fantasy, like anything Tylor, like his art as an artist, the artwork, maybe you want.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a specific one in particular. Maybe you just want to ask him a Final Fantasy question, but this is the time. Fire away as we just kind of
Final Fantasy.
talk. Yeah.
You can ask me questions about art.
Mm-hmm.
Says requests. I'm okay with requests.
Taking requests. Noise.
And anything you want to hear. I'm also anything lore. I love lore. I'm all into that. Resonant Arc. I gotta shout out Resonant Arc.
Mm-hmm.
They did that Final Fantasy X playthrough podcast series. And that was awesome.
It was. I love. I love that. The breaking it
diving
down.
deep into the themes. Kaysen's really introspective look into the visual imagery of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So sick.
Yeah, I loved watching Resonant Arc, man. Just because of just exactly what you said. Me and Vinny had for a long time thought about doing a series where we just rank and review Final Fantasy from Final Fantasy 1 on, and just kind of sit down and say, okay, Final Fantasy 1, let's go as in depth as we possibly can, and then at the end, well, that's a bad example, but like at the end we rank it. Obviously Final Fantasy 1 is number 1 until we get to the next one and we can figure out what so Resonant Arc is a very big inspiration of that idea. So but of course they are highly intelligent with writing and storytelling and all that other stuff. So
they have like a masterclass understanding of story writing and how stories are structured and all that kind of stuff. So it really adds a lot.
Yeah.
So like with Final Fantasy X, I didn't understand anything. All I knew was I liked the aesthetic, music, and it's extremely emotional. And it changed when in 5th grade, I decided to replay instead of watching my mom or dad play it. I played it through by myself, and that's when it hit. And all the realizations of Jekt and all that kind of stuff. Boom, hit me.
Yeah.
It was so awesome. And so that at that moment, my love for Final Fantasy exploded. And after that, my introduction into FF7, because FF7 is my second favorite, surprisingly was not the original OG. Advent Children was my introduction to FF7.
Wow.
Because my dad would bring home movies, and he saw Final Fantasy, and he brought the DVD of Advent Children, and I was like, oh, Final Fantasy. I didn't really understand the concept of Final Fantasies that much back then. In my, I think 10 or 11 or 12 or something like that. So, but I just loved the epicness of the fights and how everything looked. I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
Like anybody really knows what's going on in Advent Children, but it just looks good.
Sleepy's still trying to figure
really
it
out.
Good.
And then after that, Crisis Core. I know a lot of people have feelings about Crisis Core. That was my introduction into playing a FF7 game on the PSP. So I'm really connected to Zach. The injection of Genesis in Nibelheim, only thing that was know the OG when I played it, but after understanding the original FF7, it's included in it being kind of like a retcon. Be like, why is he here? But I kind of understand. Over time, I've accepted it. But in my head canon, Genesis wasn't there.
Yeah.
He wasn't there. He wasn't there. Nibelheim at the reactor to push Sephiroth into going crazy.
Yeah.
He it himself. That's my headcanon.
See, I like
Otherwise,
that.
Genesis is fine.
You started
is
with
fine
Crisis
overall.
Core, and then you played original, and you're like, yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
And then I got real busy with college and getting my degrees for painting and animation, and really focused on pastels. I constantly follow game news. Game Informer. I read Game Informer all the time.
Oh yeah, man.
I kept up with everything, and the big thing that started keeping that up was Kingdom Hearts. Because I was waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
I was in keyboarding class in 7th grade. I'm like, oh man, I can look up stuff on the internet real quick. Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out, and you see this make-up box art of KH3. My mind was blown. I thought Kingdom Hearts 3 was coming out soon, but someone had just made it up. Understand the concept. It's kind of like when you see Super Saiyan 10 for the first time, and you think it's real. You're like, Super Saiyan 5? Super Saiyan 6? There's a Super Saiyan 8? But they're just fan art. It's just fan art. I didn't understand that.
Anybody can post anything.
Yeah, I did.
Somebody will believe it.
But that hype brought me forward my interest in gaming news.
Yeah.
Oh, that's been like my thing. I just always keep up with everything.
That's awesome.
You guys. But I just don't make content on it.
Yeah.
But I could. I mean, I know everything there is to know. I know I was there throughout the whole time with Versus 13, FF15 becoming released, and FF15 is my third favorite Final Fantasy. It's FF10 and 15 for me personally. The bros really tear me up, man. I tear up all the time.
That game.
Very emotional person. I'm like extremely emotional. I would say music really makes an impact on me every time I hear it. So
this is
any kind of music.
Great time to answer Amy Roser's question. What is your all-time favorite Final Fantasy theme and character?
Oh gosh.
Whoa! You can't just drop these questions, Amy.
Favorite theme.
I'm telling you, it's so
That is
hard
not
to
easy.
do, right? Because when you say the word, people say that's it. It's solidified. That's Tyler's favorite theme, and you can't change it ever.
I know.
That's
rough, man.
That's my thing about making those ranking videos, where I'm like, man, I probably feel so much different than I did those months ago.
Ranking things is tough.
We're coming back to you,
top 10
MC.
that is I have a top 10 that kind of equals top 1. All top 1.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's like, it depends on my mood that day, you know what I mean? Am I sad? Then
I'd
it's
say-
Aerith's theme.
I'd say my favorite characters. I'm really attached to Noctis, personally.
Nice.
Noctis, I haven't drawn him yet. I'm going to, but I can't wait to draw him with that blue aesthetic. Him as royalty. I have a lot of plans for Noctis, but
That's gonna be an
and Versus
interesting
13 was the coolest concept that never was. Defined a whole decade. My interest in Final Fantasy, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone was waiting forever for 15. And it impacted me so much. I think it's between Noctis, Zack, and probably Auron as my favorite characters.
Yes. I like
The
that
themes are hard though, because you can't really choose one. I find myself listening to, it's not like a character theme, but Wall Market.
Oh
Wall
yeah.
Market.
Yeah.
I just listen to that all the time
That's
as I'm
awesome.
drawing. So OG Wall Market, The Oppressed, I listen to that constantly. I like Barrett's theme a lot. Of course, Tifa. I can't listen to Tifa and Aerith's theme too much. I cry too much. I get too emotional. I can't put
Some
myself through
emotional
that too
songs,
much.
man. Yeah, especially what Remake did with Tifa's theme. When they put the piano version, I was like, oh man.
Yes.
I wasn't anticipating
Remake put my love for Final Fantasy on a whole new level.
Yeah.
Just the concept of it, the execution, Max's playthrough in particular, with his love and passion for it.
Yeah.
Man, I would say Remake is my favorite game ever, but I'm keeping with OG FF10 and FF7. But I mean, Remake changed everything.
Like once you get
especially with the revelation of the revelation that Remake is not like a meta real world. This is a remake of FF7. Buddy, here you go. And then people feel like they got duped, but that's the coolest part. It's like it is a verb.
That's
it is
the
what the
coolest
character
part.
is doing. It is what everyone is. It's what Sephiroth is doing. What they are doing in a meta commentary way.
Yeah.
It is being remade. It's so sick. It's so cool. The plot ghosts, the whispers being the purists.
Look at that.
Blew my mind. Take that, purists.
But that's the coolest part.
Yeah, it is.
I love that. That's awesome. MCP says, better question. What Final Fantasy character is most relatable to you personally as an artist? Skytron.
It is rough.
Skytron said, pushing Daniel's buttons here. No, I'm fine. I can handle it. He's like, you know that time when they shoved a knife in your back and they twisted? That's the coolest part. I'm just kidding.
I know your feelings on it.
Yeah.
I know your feelings on it. You're
That's
gonna
the
love
coolest
it.
part when you went through depression because of those.
Okay, let me get to that question.
Yeah.
The remake changing things I think is going to pay off. The execution of 90%, whole fan base agrees that 90% of it really well done.
Yeah.
Like that first 90% and they expanded on, improved upon. And then that 10% is what everyone's confused and don't know what to expect from. I have faith. I am a purist in a way.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the OG. I like the concept of feeling those feelings again.
Yeah.
With the unknown, but it's not. You're experiencing that feeling again. The emotions behind it all, like, is Aerith going to go through the same fate again? Even they're going to keep consistent. It's just the feeling you felt they want to recapture even more. And I know it might not be a sequel, but I pretend it's a sequel in my head.
That's where I've come to.
I love the sequel concept.
That's where I'm at with it. That's what's helped me. So like, if anything, I'm hoping. Always going to be upfront and honest and stuff like that with Final Fan TV. So that way anybody who's watching it who's like, maybe they feel like that. But anyways, I went through that, man. I went through that, like that whole.
I remember.
Yeah, you watched that video where I was
know.
just kind of like, here's my thoughts, my unfiltered thoughts on it. But I think that's great to share. Like, I think it's great to share that because here I am. I'm actually really excited for Rebirth. Like, I'm really, it's not just for content or anything like that. Like, I'm actually genuinely excited about Rebirth. Now, granted, these videos, or maybe you will hear it in my voice or see it, but always know that my excitement is laced with concern. Like, there is always this underlying concern. But I mean, it's the unknown journey and all that other stuff. And I think of it the way that you just said. I think that is a great way to put it. Where you're like, it's a sequel, right? Because that's where I think of it. It's either a sequel, but either that I've moved on, right? Like, I've kind of like, okay, I'm not getting the remake that I anticipated that I wanted. But what they are doing is exciting. What they are doing is, it's a mystery, and I love that. Like you said, it is evoking the same feelings that the original game did. What it like literally in the trailer, what is real and what is fiction, what is fact and what is fiction, and that is like, I mean, there you go. I mean, we're still on track. Same feelings that you get. I'm just hoping for that they keep with the same like finality to life and death. Like, so that's that. I think that's where I'm at with it. But yeah.
They've shown so much respect.
Mm-hmm.
The original. I kind of feel like they have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that we don't know about. Speculate so much, but they almost. I have a lot of faith in them because of the execution. They have shown they proves that they're with the feelings we had for the beginning of Remake.
Mm-hmm.
And then adding, because it's almost impossible to remake FF7, and they were so hesitant because it's such a precious gem. It's their golden goose.
Mm-hmm.
It's so precious to them to remake it. This concept of adding to it and their creativity flourishing in it, and this extra meta commentary of new mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
It seems ingenious,
mm-hmm.
really, or Nomura's crazy.
We're gonna find out.
So, I personally, it's crazy.
Yeah.
The concept of it.
Yeah.
And because of the execution so far, I'm my faith for the future.
Yeah.
And the past happened. The FF7 happened.
Mm-hmm.
Not erasing FF7.
Yeah.
That has to exist for this game for the events of this to take place.
Yeah.
Zack still sacrificed himself. It's like it didn't happen. The fact that he's alive didn't erase that he did that for Cloud. Because Zack's sacrifice is, it's like the most important thing for Cloud's development. For that moment to be changed, of course, is like, what the heck?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gonna be.
I think it's gonna play out in a way that's satisfying. Hopefully, I have a lot of hope for it.
Well,
either way, I'm at the point where I'm accepting whatever they kind of do.
I hope you're right, and I mean, I am with you in that too. I'm accepting whatever is going to come our way. So yeah, I mean, Rebirth, and we don't have to wait much longer for the next part, which is so freaking exciting. I mean, this month is filled with a lot of Final Fantasy VII. And I know right now all we know is Ever Crisis for sure is coming out this week on the 7th. But man, I think we are going to be getting some. We're going to get a big trailer, and I'm sure people who are watching this might have watched the previous video from me, because I don't want to repeat myself. But it was basically like saying that Tokyo Game Show 2019 referenced that on how they did things. They showed the Abzu gameplay. They showed off like mechanics like limit breaks. They showed off a mini game mechanics and all that other stuff.
Yes.
Well, Gold Saucer's coming up. Show me a mini game there. Show me the team attacks, the new abilities and stuff like that. Now that is what I'm hoping to
style.
See. FF10 style. Is that what you said?
It's going to be a tagging in.
Yes. Oh wow, that would be. I mean, we've seen them off in the
time.
Distance. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So is that what you're hoping to see?
But I'm most excited. The whole idea of the combat, because when you imagine it, how can all of them? I'm imagining all of them running around in this giant group.
Yeah.
Then that's the figure out how they're going to incorporate that into battle. How they're going to go from moment to moment with each other. A lot of people there's a lot of characters to traverse. I think the concept of still having 3 characters on battle, just like FF10, and then tagging in on the fly with ATB or something, with the rest of them on the outskirts.
That
is the sickest thing.
Yeah.
Like in a fighting game, like Marvel vs. Capcom, you do a tag attack.
Yeah.
Any type of tagging in on top of the 3 on the field it's such a good idea. I hope they do something like that. It hints at that since they're on the outskirts.
Yeah.
Hopefully something like that. That's my biggest. I will freak out if they announce that and show that off.
Yeah, man, me too. So, what are you hoping to see in the trailer? Besides like that, but like story wise, what are you hoping to see in the trailer? Let me see if I'm gonna scroll through some questions and see if I missed any.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Besides the combat, exciting thing for me is the gold saucer. I think the gold saucer, anything, is I'm most hyped to see anything with gold saucer. Just the whole concept of it. Just my painting of it. I love this painting. It encapsulates that moment I want. And dude, it's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
I want dozens of mini games. It's impossible, but you know.
Not impossible. Like, so the cool thing is that they've already given us like several mini games in Remake. Now here's your excuse to bring them in. I'm sure there's going to be a dartboard in the gold saucer. I'm sure there's going to be break the boxes, whack a box. I'm sure there's going to be some pull-ups and all that other stuff. Like, I feel like the gold saucer is just going to be a collection of all the mini games. Obviously, that's how it was in the original. So yeah, I think I think it's just going to be a growing collection of mini games too. Like, obviously we're probably not going to be doing the submarine battle. So that's probably not going to be in there. The snowboarding, those machines will be out of order, right? Like, but they'll be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's really cool. I think if they are to show off, I mean, I think the gold saucer is going to be a very big part of the game. Like, obviously in the original game, if you trace the chapters like I did in that one video, you trace it all the way up to about where Aerith, the Forgotten City, gold saucer is visited, revisited, like a lot of time. Like, it's a lot going on in the gold saucer. So I think it would be difficult to show a new trailer without the gold saucer. So I think you're going to be happy. I think you're going to be happy, man. I'm excited for that. Vinny, did you see anything in chat where like any questions that I missed? Did I miss any questions you want to like kind of scroll through or?
There is one thing. There was a request made for art by Block Sheep, and I'm with him on this. I would love to see this too, but a dual art with Red 13 and Seto.
Yes. Oh my gosh, dude. That'd be awesome.
And hopefully for you, because right now we have you have like statue Seto. It would be great if they flesh his story out in Rebirth, and then you'd have a model to look at
flashback Seto,
right,
for healthy, strong Seto.
Yes, not withering, crying statue Seto.
Although,
that one scene of Red howling at the moon and everything like that would be amazing still art too.
Man, I have this concept, like moments like this golden saucer moment I painted for Rebirth. I kind of want to drawing the character art of everybody. I want to capture moments that everyone loves in my way. Kind of how what I love about these moments. The fantastic nature of the gold saucer here in an aesthetic composition in my style, like with Seto and Red 13.
That's good.
So emotional.
Yeah, it's one of the I'm looking forward to that in Rebirth as well. I know me and Vinny have been talking about that a lot. Like Seto and Red is one of Vinny's most anticipated thing, right, Vinny?
Yeah, that's
great.
I love how we got like 10 minutes of story and it
Yeah.
had like the most impact on me from the game. So
Yeah.
seeing that
I know.
fleshed out would just be amazing.
Just a little
great
makes such an
suggestion.
impact.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, the Mog family.
Cosmo Canyon in general. Bugenhagen.
Block Sheep says he would like a picture of the Mog family. Drawing
The Mog family.
Yeah, the painting.
Yeah, okay.
I,
The Mog
I-
story.
Yeah. Get the Mog story in there, please.
I
The
think-
house,
I
the
think-
mushroom house, and all that.
I think they were talking about mini games that they wanted to see.
Oh, my
return.
bad. Okay. I thought it was a painting
but-
request for the Mog family. You do have like a cartoon.
It's already in my head. In my head. There's going to be a Mog family artwork.
You have a cartoon artwork too. Like it's cartoon style. It's completely different
Yes.
than your typical style.
I have a huge interest in animation, and I have an animation degree. I haven't
love the
used
fat
it.
Chocobo.
Yeah. I focused on portraiture and realism, but there's a side of me I have this kind of have a lot of styles.
Yeah.
It's kind of I surprise myself, but really love this Ghibli animation aesthetic and chibi. I like drawing chibi stuff.
Yeah.
So I wanted to draw a chibi version of everybody capturing a fat chocobo and how they would react in that moment. So this is one of my favorite things ever. And you can notice the sun aesthetic, you know, this like morning time rays. This is my favorite feeling ever, kind of like FF10 with the freshness of the ocean and the water, freshness of light in the morning and sun rays. That's my favorite thing. I just got to point that out.
That's
But
great.
yeah, I like drawing stuff like this as well, and I want to do this more for Ever Crisis, Rebirth. I just got to pick good moments.
The Ever Crisis, that would be because like they do have that chibi style going on, so that would be that would match really well. Look at Red, just not impressed. Like Red just
not he don't care. Him and Vincent are chilling.
This is so dumb,
It's a
guys.
normal-
What are we doing? We catching fat chocobos right now?
It's just Tuesday.
It's just a
Tuesday
Tuesday with That's great.
And Barrett's all freaking out because he has to help everybody.
Yeah.
He's the only one taking care of anybody.
Taking it really serious right now.
Yeah, and then
This is great.
Yuffie is freaking out. Everything.
This is great. You captured all their personalities really well too. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I love doing this stuff.
Yeah. So I thought that was
hard.
really a really cool one that I wanted to I'm glad that we were just talking so that way we could bring it up because this is such a different style from what you see on the rest of your Instagram and stuff like that. So this is really cool.
Yeah, I draw like this. I have sneak peeks of other things. I was gonna hold off until like FF10 news.
Wow.
Because I have a sketch style. Like as an artist, we kind of have a thing where we can't choose a style. I've committed to it. Each medium that I go for. With pastel, I chose realism and I use pastels. With digital art, I've been focusing on with the character art of posters and all that kind of stuff. I've added my chibi style. I do draw them cute, and I have keychains as well, buddy. There's also this dynamic, expressive, sketchy style. Like every time I start a sketch for a painting, this Cowboy Bebop Ghibli extremely expressive style that comes out of me. Like I do a lot of snarling, a lot of angry. It just happens to be that way. That's part of how my FF16 sketch series is like, that I'm working on. That I will finish, but I just need to pace everything out because Ever Crisis and Rebirth is so much. Sketch style. Maybe I'll share that later.
Yeah.
It's FF10 focused. I want to focus on FF7 right now.
Yeah, I mean
that's
fair.
I have a style that I like to share with everybody eventually, and focus on that more because it's fun. And it adds to visual library of my art, and people understanding me as how I create more. So I'll share that in a little bit as probably maybe the ending.
Okay.
Because it's fun, and I've been holding it off for a long time.
Yeah. I mean that's super fair too. You're as an artist, things change, ever changing and everything like that. You kind of want to focus on things. So yeah, man. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I'm so happy that you agreed to be on the show, man. I really enjoyed seeing your process. I enjoyed getting a little insight on things, learning things about your style as far as why your style is the way it is. I thought that was just so cool. I loved, the emerging from a crystal, so you're sparkling, and it kind of gives that Final Fantasy, the purple that you're adding into it, all these little details. It was such a fun podcast to be able to kind of get an insight on things, man. So thank you so much for being part of the show. Now, for the last thing to do here is basically just kind of, close this thing out. So I would love for everybody watching right now, if you're not following Tylor Hepner Art, at Tylor Hepner Art on Twitter or x.com, go and do that now. And then, of course, check out at Final Fan TV so you can share that giveaway, and we can give away an awesome poster of the brand new Zack and Cloud artwork. But yeah, so Tylor, close us out with anything that you want to say before we go.
Okay, so I have a lot of plans for the future. Rebirth is my most anticipated thing. I've drawn everybody for FF7 Remake, and I'm going to do it all over again for Rebirth as we start getting new trailers and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to do a Cloud 2.0, new Tifa. I'm going to go through the whole process again with my new knowledge of drawing these so much. I'm going to try to make them as best as I can and keep the hype going and improve as much as I can for each piece. On top of that, I want to celebrate Ever Crisis. So much I could do with Ever Crisis, it's overwhelming. Focus on young Sephiroth, because that's the new thing for Ever Crisis. So look forward to something Sephiroth related soon. I'm really excited to see how they go about that.
Yeah.
And then FF16 is an ongoing series I'm working on that I will continue to work on. Earth reveals itself. So look forward to finishing my sketch series for FF16, new posters. I want to do Sid painting, because Sid's my favorite character in 16.
Yeah.
I want to do a full thing honoring him, did with Orin and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot in the works, and I'm really excited. I think Rebirth, anticipating news for it.
Yeah.
We talked about it, but I think there will be, based off of the release of the pre-orders on all the major sites, we're going to see the release date trailer, like you said, the collector's edition announced before Tokyo Game Show.
Yes.
I think there's going to be a state of play or something. We'll show off all of this.
Yes.
And then get you hyped for Tokyo Game Show to do the deep dive. Because if they do just a reveal trailer at Tokyo Game Show, I feel like that will be it. I don't want that. I mean, like, Tokyo Game Show is more for showcasing a deeper, like how they did before with apps and the mini games and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So maybe some sort of trailer soon. And people have been talking about with play or other things. They need to show Spider-Man and all that kind of stuff. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to that. I hope. Also not because I have to draw for it too, because I have so much to do. But
yeah, add that to your list.
I got so much to do. Yeah.
I think you're
keep
spot
up with
on.
it.
Yeah, with your prediction there, that's spot on. State of play before Tokyo Game Show. They've been doing that for the past couple years, so the track record is 2 days before the show starts. So I would expect it to, on the 19th of this month. The only thing that would throw a hook into that is if they wanted to drop a Rebirth trailer alongside Ever Crisis, which I think would be brilliant marketing to really generate the hype. Everybody downloads Ever Crisis that night. And then, of course, you get ahead of the whole, the models of these characters are going to be revealed in Ever Crisis. We'll just drop the trailer before that. Which would mean, good lord, we're in the same week as that trailer. But I know. I don't know, right? Like, maybe.
It's hard to believe. That we might see the renders future Rebirth and beyond in a couple days. I'm hesitant. Still think they might show. They say they're going to show all 10 chapters day one. Mm-hmm. I feel like it might still just be 3 chapters. I don't know. This is my copium.
Yeah, this is my copium.
I do want to see the renders first in Rebirth.
Yeah.
And the way they presented them. They did Red 13 and Remake and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That impact feels very special. They've been working so long, and the assets being shown first. Just a little thing. Mm-hmm. But it's not so little. It's kind of like it's a weird thing that I've been ever since Ever Crisis was revealed. I've been really hoping it was shown first in Rebirth.
Yeah, I agree, man. I would much rather the big pop off be in a trailer. But yeah, so
seeing the Northern Crater. I mean, we're gonna see the Northern Crater.
Because you're gonna see all these things, and that
we're gonna see how it looks. Because at the moment, it's a mystery. All of it's a mystery. We can only imagine. Mm-hmm. We're gonna see how it looks. I'll be fine with it.
The other thing to take into consideration also is it's like a Reader's Digest, so it's not every single thing. So the dialogue is shortened. There's actually little to no exploration, which from the beta, they skipped all of Sector 7. Like you couldn't walk to the bar. You just the cutscene started.
Yeah.
So I think there's room for them to kind of skip over certain things that would give away Rebirth, but I mean, hey, the solution here is to just drop it before the Rebirth, Ever Crisis comes out.
Yeah, that's the solution.
That's the solution, Square.
Get them first then.
Yep, there you
go. I'd be fine.
That's the solution. But yeah, I would definitely 100% expect a state of play before Tokyo Game Show. And 100% Rebirth will be there with a big trailer. And then at the Tokyo Game Show, I also predict that it would be playable. Like there'll be a playable demo at the actual game show, showcasing
this is
something.
Last minute. This is so last minute if they did that.
I mean, last minute for us.
I hope they do that.
but I mean, that's kind of how they did it with the Tokyo Game Show 2019, right? The big trailer at E3, and we got the big trailer at Summer Game Fest, and then now Tokyo Game Show. Time to get the gameplay. Maybe either a on show floor gameplay, or maybe behind closed doors where you can come in and get like this presentation thing where. Either way, we're gonna get like a lot of detail and information this month. I'm so confident about that. I mean, big month.
As soon as that happens, what would you like as it starts happening? Mm-hmm. I'm curious because I'm being interviewed, but what are you looking forward to most in seeing in Rebirth, and what would you like to see in my style?
Oh,
for me
wow.
To draw?
Oh, that's awesome. Shoot, what am I most looking forward to Rebirth? I love the gold saucer, like you were saying. Like that's kind of where I'm like I kind of want to see what that looks like location wise. Gold saucer is going to be incredible. Man, that's a tough question because like there's so many moments that I want to see in Rebirth.
Yeah.
That I'm trying to get my mind to the point where I'm just like, they might not happen. They might not happen the way that you want them to happen. So I'm not trying to get like, you know, like that. But yeah, I mean, I think the thing I'm looking forward to the most is to see what's going on at the Forgotten Capital. And I think the Forgotten Capital in Forgotten City or whatever is going to be one of the, God, it's going to be an incredible looking aesthetic. Like it's going to be just insane. So I mean, just imagine the original Final Fantasy VII where you got that spiral staircase going down.
Yes.
Imagine that with Rebirth. It's going to be mind-blowing. So I think that is my most anticipated thing. The altar scene, and hopefully the outside the Forgotten Capital, you know, like laying her in the water. I think that I'm looking forward to being broken, Tyler. I want to be shattered at the end of this.
Same.
Yeah. Give me hope.
Same here.
Obviously, you know, end it with like
and break me.
Yeah, break me to the point where I'm going to be just completely like at the end of the game going to be like just like wow. You know, like just in tears, but also you end it with that that resolution that they have afterwards where they're just like we're going to keep fighting, you know, and we're going to keep fighting and then that's the end it roll and then we're credits.
Gonna go snowboard.
Go snowboarding at the start of part 3. That's what I've been trying to say. Hold off on the snowboarding. Give us a good 3 years in between these games, and then when part 3 comes out, we're gonna be so excited to go snowboarding. You know what I mean? Like that's why I say it's gonna go that way. It's because like, just let that happen. End it at the Icicle Inn.
See, okay, there's so much to talk about. I have to say this. I would love, I mentioned this last night, SSX style.
Yeah, you did.
Cloud and the gang going down on their snowboards.
Yes.
I want SSX style.
Yes.
And then I think this game is going to be so huge. I think it's going all the way when the weapons appear.
That's a lot of people. A lot of people like that idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the most dire situation. And you begin the next one at Junin, when they're in prison, where they're imprisoned. I think that setup is really interesting. I think that's the best place. The other one is the other obvious what you said before.
Yeah.
And also, I'm curious about Nibelheim.
Oh God, yeah, the flashback.
The flashback, and then when you go there for real, and how Vincent's revealed.
Yeah.
Those things. I'm all visual too because I'm trying to imagine this because I want to draw for it as well. So I'm always visualizing all this stuff. So I'm really excited about Nibelheim. Hope it opens up Nibelheim. Hope the game opens up with the flashback. That's really sick.
Yeah, there's
cold open.
There's so many. Like that's why when you asked me the question, I'm like, my mind was going like all of the memory, all of the awesome moments.
There's too many.
There's way too many. And then you got Dine, Barrett, Coral Prison, things like that.
Yes.
Seto and Red in the Cave of the Gi. I mean that's going to be incredible. God, Vinny, what are you most anticipating and looking forward to? Like, same question.
Definitely Cosmo Canyon, Red 13, Seto. Yes. I want Denna to get fleshed out, introduced. Red 13's mom, because I mean, at the end of Final Fantasy VII OG, Red's running with a pack of his cubs, so he's obviously not the last of his species unless he evolves to just like asexually reproduce. So, you know, I feel like Denna is gonna have to be introduced, fleshed out, just kind of like know she exists, whether they see her or not in in their timeline, but just there's so much about Red 13 and his backstory and Cosmo Canyon and Skytron said he wants to see the Cosmo Canyon Observatory with Spira's planet as an Easter egg when they're looking at the planets and stuff, which I think that would be pretty neat with all that speculation swirling around how 7 and 10 are actually in the same universe.
Yes.
The Easter eggs, yeah.
Just to clarify there, I don't know, like I think you messed up when you said it, but Denna is not Red 13's mom. It's Red.
No, I didn't say that at all.
Did you? Like, I feel like you said Red 13's mom, and I was like, that's weird, bro.
I said Denna get fleshed out. Red 13's moms get fleshed out.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so yeah. I was like, oh man.
No, I know that's not his mom.
You got some weird Game of Thrones stuff going on here. But no, yeah. So this has been a really fun time, man. I think we are going to kind of wrap it up here. But yeah, so what do you got? One last thing for us, Tyler? Do you want to sign us off, like with anything in conclusion?
Excited for Rebirth. Excited for everyone's excitement over it.
Yes.
I'll be there the whole time, absorbing it all and trying to create and add to that as much as I can. And
you
try to keep up with it.
You freaking do. Yeah, that your art it fuels my hype. So thank you for that. There you go.
The best part about doing this, I would say, is just being a part of the community.
Yes. Yeah.
Meeting everybody, Blitz, and I've been able to get in contact with most everybody, and it's so much fun, and I to continue to add to that, and I'm so happy. We have so much to look forward to, especially in the next 6 months.
Yeah, man, me too. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Tyler. Vinny, welcome back to the final podcast, man. It's been great to have you.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And everybody who followed, thank you so much for doing that during the show. Sorry, I didn't want to just shout that out during the middle of the podcast, but thank you so much for following. And of course, remember to go to @Tylor Hepner Art over on Twitter or X and follow. And then come on over to Final Fan TV at Twitter, and then repost that giveaway. That's going to go. I'm going to make that post right after the stream ends. So go over there, follow Tyler, come on over to Final Fan TV, repost, and then the giveaway will last until, let's go with Wednesday. We'll go Wednesday. So get your submissions in by Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care now. Bye-bye then.